Hello, and welcome back to Mirror Star Trek, the conversation. It's good to see you. It's good to see you all. Look, Toddy wanted to be here, but, he's an idiot, so I threw him away. I said, you can't talk about this anyway. You've never been to the Mirror Universe. How are you supposed to talk about the Mirror Universe if you haven't been there? I'm from there. I'm still trying to get back, by the way. The channel, Trek on the Tube, isn't uploading anymore, but still, I'm still trying to get back. I'm still trying to find all of my quantum transwarp conduits and everything to get back. But hey, you know what I mean? So if anyone has any idea where I can get some equipment, just let us know, so put a comment down below. So anyway, I sent Toddy off on a mission, and I said, go find something, go find some equipment. And so I'm taking over.
Toddy,
what?
I couldn't hurt you in any universe. We're back on another exciting episode of Mirror Starfleet's the Whale. That's right. That's right. Today it's Mirror Universe Us. We do very uncasual and very formal discussions. That's what Mirror Us would be like, right? Like wearing tuxedos and stuff.
It would be so strict. You know what I mean?
Are you gonna be in character as Mirror Toddy the whole time?
I've seen your podcast on the other side, and I've seen Marissa Hale.
How do you?
He has a very long beard.
How do you have this wig? It's a good wig. I want a wig like that.
It's a terrible wig. It was purchased for the exact purpose of being Muratati.
There was
a whole mosaic of characters going on Trek on the Tube.
I know.
At one point,
there's the Canon Cop.
There's a Canon Cop.
He got defunded. I succeeded in defunding the Canon Cop, so that was good.
Yeah, he's like the Canon casual now. You know what I mean? He appears sometimes, but just talks about Canon, but he's not so much a cop anymore.
He's the Canon security.
He's like, we don't like the Force. The Force, he doesn't believe in the Force anymore.
Oh my gosh.
There's so Bob. Funny. That would never
There's Bob. I remember Bob. F Bob.
God damn it, Bob.
God damn it, Bob. Who else was there? There's Muratati.
There's Muratati. And I guess there's me. That's a lot.
You're a character too. It's true. Well, welcome back. It's nice to see you. Thanks to everyone who's tuning in on this impromptu live stream where we normally don't come on midweek, but this Friday is not going to be a possibility for me, so I had to shuffle some stuff around, and so here we are on the Wednesdays, and it looks like there's a bunch of folks already in the audience. It's nice to see everyone.
Folks. Smash the like button.
Yeah, smash that like button and subscribe.
YouTube in the Mirror Universe is called MyTube, okay? And you hit the agonize button. So that the original poster, the uploader, every time you hit the agonize button, they feel a little sting. You know what I mean? Because to be able to use MyTube, you need to have like a little agonizing pill. So there's an upside and a downside. Like if your video is good, people like it, but if they don't, then you get agonized.
That's hilarious. So like you're just like
casually walking down the street, but this video you uploaded is trash, so everyone's like agonizing you. You know what I mean?
Hello to Commodore Trev. Impromptu streams are very common in the Mirror Universe.
There's no organized streams.
There's no organized streams.
It's all impromptu.
And by the way, happy anniversary to our friend Trev. It's his anniversary today, so
that's right. Everyone thumbs down the video. No one thumbs
up. What are you doing? Damn you. It's gonna happen. They listen to you. Please don't mess up my channel because of Toddy. Go thumbs down his channel, please. Everyone thumbs down Toddy's channel.
How dare you?
Trek on the Tube and thumbs down.
Outrageous.
So Toddy, we're back to discuss Star Trek Prodigy.
It's so impromptu that I watched it today in a rush.
Cracked Mirror. You hadn't seen it before today, right?
No, I hadn't seen it.
All right, so let's talk about what happened in this episode real quick. Someone noticed the wig or something.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Wife is like, what the hell's going on? No, I mean, she knows I'm around. I've been living in this place for a while now. You know what I mean? There's multiple of us just walking around.
So, last episode, after all the shenanigans, we were on our way back to Voyager. In this episode, when we get back to Voyager, something strange happens, and we find ourselves when the protostar comes out of warp, Gwen has kind of like a weird feeling, and when they get to the Voyager and they beam aboard, everything looks like it's normal. Everyone's kind of surprised to see Chakotay, and the doctor's the one that handles the transporter, which I thought was a little odd. But anyways, the doctor beams them aboard, and Chakotay, of course, is like, "Where's the admiral?" And it's Admiral Jellicoe. So they're all immediately like, "What the f?" Jellicoe informs them that Janeway and the doctor, Dr. Noam, and Commander Tysus perished while trying to find Chakotay in the Infinity. And so, yeah, crazy stuff. So everyone's like, that's really weird. So they're like, okay, well, let's take the doctor's like, I kind of believe you. They explain to him what's going on. They deduce that they're from a different reality, that this is probably not their Voyager. The doctor's like, all right, let's meet in sickbay. We'll figure this out. So a bunch of them get in the turbo lift, and Rock Talk and Zero stay behind for the next one. And when they get to sickbay, it's all abandoned, and they find Okana is salvaging through there. And so that's when they realize, okay,
well,
so like
he's not a DJ. See,
it's true. So
something's wrong when he's not a DJ.
Yeah, when he's not a DJ, he should always be a DJ, I guess.
Yeah.
Outrageous, says Cake is Eternal. It's true. So they figure out that every deck seems to have a different reality, and somehow reality is like shattered, and it's going right through Voyager A. Cool special effect. And they determine that maybe they need to get to the bridge, but it's 8 levels up, so that would probably be really difficult for Gwen. So they decide, okay, we're gonna transport there. They convince Okana, but they transport not to the bridge, but to another transporter. That's funny, Toddy. Is being inquired about. So they transport to the mirror universe version of Voyager A, and we meet and we spend quite a bit of time there. Meanwhile, Rock Talk and Zero, which actually I kind of wanted to see this story like played out, are with Captain Tuvix. Captain Tuvix.
No.
They,
what? No.
Hold on, I gotta blow my nose. I still have these terrible allergies. Actually, I think I might have a cold this time. So take over from where I left off.
You haven't been around much. I've been around multiple dimensions and multiple universes. There's a universe in which every time you take the transporter, you immediately get merged with the other person. So you can transport off like a blowing up ship, or you can transport off a planet that's unstable, but you will be merged into one person with the other person. That's how transporters function. So there's a universe where everyone is slowly merging together into one blob.
What did that have to do with this episode?
Well, Tuvix.
Oh God, that's right. That's sorry. I was like, wait, we're in the mirror universe. We're not talking about Tuvix. But speaking of which, there's a good Lower Decks episode.
It's not just the mirror universe that exists.
There's a great Lower Decks episode we talked about that exactly addresses what you were talking about, which is called TWO-Vix, Tuvix Part 2. It's so good. Anyways, Where was I? Oh yeah. So so Chakotay is reunited with Janeway, but not the Janeway he was hoping for. And they get under arrest and put into the brig. And
It was the first official appearance of Mirror Voyager in Star Trek. I'll say that.
Yeah, Mirror
Where's the canon
Janeway
cop?
and Mirror Chakotay. We'll have to talk
Where's the
about
canon cop? He's not around.
that. So Janeway, Mirror Janeway leaves Mirror Chakotay in charge of interrogating the bunch, and he he picks the cute one to interrogate first. But the cute one, always watch out for the cute ones.
was a big
Who is
mistake.
Murph, happens to be a
He beat him
badass
up.
security officer.
He beat him up.
and He beats him up real good, knocks him out,
He gave
takes
him
over.
that slapstick beat up.
Yep, sure did. No agonizing for this crew, thank goodness.
Agonize less.
Prime Chakotay takes a little puts on Mirror Chakotay's uniform and takes a little oil from Jankum and makes himself a beard, like a goatee, and little Murph copies him and he gets a Murph stash. That's what I'm calling it.
He does look evil.
No, Murph doesn't.
That's quite
He still
successful.
he looks cute. He looks like if I put a ink mustache on my cat. So that's that's what he looks like. Anyways, they make it to the bridge, and they start to reprogram Voyager's deflector so that they can close the rift. But as they're trying to do this, the loom appear and start entering this dimension, and and then just at that time, Chakotay and Mirror Janeway recapture the bridge. But that's when Chakotay says the thing about like, why should I trust you? She says to Chakotay, and he says, because I could never hurt you in any dimension. It was like very sweet.
So prime. You know what I mean?
It was very
prime. So prime universe of him.
But Mirror Janeway dug it. You saw her soften immediately.
No.
Yeah,
she was a facade. It was a facade. She didn't fall for it.
No, she gets out of her chair and she starts blasting the loom. But one of them gets in, and just before it's about to eat them, Gwen's able to push the button and reset everything, fixing the realities and merging Voyager. And we finally get Toddy, the reunion we've been waiting for 2 seasons. Prime Janeway and Chakotay are once again together, and it's beautiful. I thought it was great. And I think that's it. That's the whole episode.
I'll tell you a secret.
Yeah.
Because Toddy would never tell you this. But I was with him. I watched it with him. He had a little bit, he had like shivers, He was a little emotional.
He was. Did you get a little teary-eyed?
Yeah. He got, not me. No. But, Prime Toddy did. So,
Oh, that's kind of gross. I just used my napkin that I blew my nose with.
Still Mirror Universe of you.
But it was on a clean part.
That's what they do. They pre-germ their napkins and everything. They pre-germ everything on purpose.
Toddy, what did you think of this episode?
I loved it. I'm very happy that we got a Mirror Universe episode that features Janeway and Chakotay. It's a bit of a shame we didn't get any of the others. Like, I would have really liked to see a lot of like a Voyager kind of like characters in Mirror Universe, but this is the spiritual successor. But I think it was great. I think it was very clever. I really like the concept of, I guess, these spatial time fractures going on. It was visually stunning to look at, like the big fissure that they had going on across the ship and across space. Every deck being a different timeline is really, it's a fun concept. It's almost like a lower decks concept, in like the goofiness of it, but they really.
You got to do this for second breakfast. When we do our second breakfast,
actually, I kind of do. It's Sauron-ish, isn't it?
It's a bit Sauron. Yeah, you're more Sauron than Eric.
Okay, to be honest, like Morgoth and Sauron. Clearly from the Mirror Universe, these guys. You know what I mean? Like they would be good out there. We're like, No, I really liked it. it was a great episode. It had some really fun moments, and it felt like, I know that this is by no means the conclusion of the season, or hopefully even the show, but it was a good conclusion to like a great arc that we've been following for so long, to finally have Janeway and Chakotay reunited. And I mean, it's an effective reunion in my opinion. They baited me so much. Like they just looking at each other, and there was like a moment, and I'm like, he's gonna kiss her, like he's gonna kiss her, and then he runs up, and then they hug. And I'm like, God damn it, they didn't kiss, they hugged. And then he moves back from the hug, and they look at each other, and he's like, okay, now he's gonna kiss her. I know, they just say something. I'm like, God damn it! What?
You want that kiss, right? You want that on-screen.
I think it's deserved at this
kiss.
point. I
You
think
you think it's deserved?
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
you know,
Like, we're not
there's still a
owed
bunch of
anything
episodes.
as fans. Fair enough. We're not owed anything. I'll say that. You know, the creators do what they want, but I feel like, you know, if we're doing this, then we do it. You know what I mean? We do it. We don't pull a Picard on this. So yeah.
We got a comment from our audience saying, "Oh God, is Tadia JC shipper?" Some people are grossed out by Chakotay and Janeway. I
have a theory.
I am not anymore. I think that this version of Chakotay is less cringe. But I used to be against the shipping.
I have a theory.
Yeah,
because some people are very much against Worf and Deanna being a thing. Right.
Right. I'm one of those. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a Worf Deanna person.
Okay.
Maybe I was for a little while, but
you're not against Deanna being with someone, because you're quite fine with Deanna being with Riker, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, you're also not against Worf being with anyone, because you're quite fine with Worf being with Dax.
Right, correct.
Okay. Janeway, however, and Chakotay is different, because no one likes Chakotay with Janeway, but also no one likes Chakotay with Seven. So it's a Chakotay problem. People just don't want Chakotay to be happy, is what's going on. They just refuse to see him be with anyone, which is mean. I find it mean. So fair enough. Fair enough, Chakotay. I can understand why people were a bit pushed back by the Chakotay 7 thing. It's okay. But come on, Chakotay and Janeway, no, that makes sense to me.
Chakotay 7 happens in season 6 or season 7? Because I haven't seen that yet. I have no context for their relationship.
I forget when exactly it happens. To be fair, though, Chakotay is quite helpful, even if it's in a bit of a kind of a pushback kind of way to Seven from the first episode she's on the ship, because he's the one that's there to kind of make sure it happens, the transition happens well. So they have a growing relationship from the beginning.
Chakotay 7 is just one episode? It's the finale, I think I saw, but it got redacted, so I'm not sure. Joanne Robertson in the audience really likes Worf and Troy, so there's one person. Commodore Trev says, the idea that we have to romanticize the relationship between our first female lead and her XO is not even casually sexist. It's blatant.
I think that's a bit unfair.
Yeah.
But okay, so yeah, I'm coming from this from a male perspective, so maybe take this with a grain of salt. But I do find it a bit unfair to do that. That would be like saying, I don't know, oh, no, I don't want to go there. That might seem weird, so I'm not going to say that. But no, I do feel like that's a little unfair. I don't think.
I think shipping should be. I think shipping should be free of judgment. Honestly,
yeah,
I think you should be allowed to ship whoever you want.
I don't think no, but even in terms of the way that the story was written, even so, there's shipping, and then there's of course the on-screen stuff with Chakotay and Janeway. I just don't think that is a symptom of the fact that she is our first female captain. I just think that it just so happens to be a story that made kind of sense. You know what I mean? Yeah, she has no attachments of that kind or any feelings of that kind for anyone else or anything. Tuvok's been around for a long time. Of course, we know Tuvok's married, but I feel and Chakotay's kind of I don't know, he's a great kind of guy. You know what I mean? No?
I didn't like
No?
him in this. I didn't like him in this. I like him here. I like this version of Chakotay a lot, but I might change my mind now because now that I know this Chakotay, when I go back and rewatch Voyager, it's going to be with the influence
I've always
of.
found that they didn't give him enough depth and they didn't work well enough with him. And what's interesting is this episode specifically, Chakotay makes a reference, to having dealt with this kind of situation before. And he's referring to a double episode in which he is held captive by some crazed madman that is trying to change like time itself.
Is that another season 6? I don't remember.
I forget when that is. Someone in the
I
chat
feel
will
like
say
that's
it.
got to be like season 6 or season 7.
But like there's
probably.
this crazy guy he's basically trying to find his wife and his kids again, right? And so he's constantly changing the timeline, but in doing so he's like erasing planets and erasing people, and he's muddling up the timeline. It gets worse and worse, and like every time he's like, oh, I have a new calculation, you know what I mean? I can get
Isn't that
even closer.
That's not Year of Hell. No, that's not the one, right?
No. And so it's interesting that so Chakotay talks about that. He references that. I'm assuming he's referencing that when he says I've dealt with like something similar. And in that two-parter episode, I feel like Chakotay is a lot more interesting than he is in most of the rest of the show in Voyager, because he has like this, I guess, emotional like investment and this arc, and he has like depth to him, and I think that's what was missing. I think a lot of the writing was a bit flat for Chakotay, which sadly kind of took away from who he is.
I think it's an episode. I think it's the episode called Shattered, and it's season 7, episode 11. So I'll
No,
have
this
to
is a
wait to
double
see that
episode.
one. Oh, maybe not. No, maybe not that one then. Perhaps not. Oh, this one. Interesting. Anyways, so overall you like this episode, Toddy. While you look up that information, I thought it was great too. I thought it was a fun episode. I really enjoyed all the temporal shenanigans. I enjoyed the visuals a lot, like seeing the different kinds of like states of the Voyager. I like the concept of like, I always like the concept of like each of our un you know un unmade decisions or unchosen decisions can create like a potential timeline, if you will. So there's like a timeline for all these things. So yeah, I liked all that, and of course seeing the mirror universe is always fun. It's like a scary place. You never know what's gonna happen. Did you find it yet, Chadi? You're
No.
so Jill says, by the way, this episode did not serve as any sort of redemption of Okana. That is true. It did not. So that's good. What did you think of Chakotay losing the beard at the beginning of the episode?
I was a bit disappointed.
I was disappointed too. I thought he should
I
have kept
feel
the
like he
beard.
could have had a nice cleanup, but with still kept the beard. You know what I mean? He didn't need
like he could have gone like 5 o'clock shadow or something, right?
Yeah, I feel like he could have handled that, a little better. Like, what are you doing, bro? Don't take it all off. But okay.
I just noticed that you're sporting a kind of goatee beard right now too. Did you do that on purpose because you knew it was going to be a mirror episode, or
I've
you
had
just
this every conversation in this in the Prodigy discussion so far, but okay.
Wow, it's the first time I noticed. That's really funny. um, Benji in the audience says, I had a beard for 10 years as well. Wow. Sometimes you just want to get rid of the thing.
I'm just gonna
I've
throw it away.
never had a beard consistently. I will grow a beard, but it's usually out of laziness.
Nah, I can't.
I forget to shave, or I get too busy or whatnot. So I've never had like a long beard. I guess I've had like one that I tried growing one for a month once, and that was about all I could do. Cake says, I thought Chakotay's beard and hair were very well kept for someone shipwrecked. Yeah, it's true, but also nicely unkempt. He's finally off the island. I can see it. Art says, I shaved mine off. Not sure I'll post my naked face anytime soon. Wow, Art, you shaved your beard? Whoa. Wowzers. I don't know what to think. That's great. That's crazy. Yeah, so everyone kind of remarks, I think Dallas says something like someone's ready to see the Admiral or something like that. And I liked how familiar kind of and encouraging Hollow Janeway was, like,
You're right. It
to
is Year of Hell.
Oh, it was Year of Hell.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I convinced myself
That
Year
is
of Hell was something else.
That is a good episode. There, now I was right. My gut was correct. When you were describing the episode, it did seem familiar. So yeah, that was Year of Hell. Yeah, so I really liked that whole thing leading up to them getting back to Voyager. I also liked Majel, her first experience in proto warp, and we were in that proto warp, and they were kind of reminding everyone about how that works and stuff like that. So yeah, that was pretty cool opening. And then of course the little surprise with the wrong admiral comes along. I'm curious why Jellicoe would be on Voyager, like what circumstances. I guess Voyager, Enterprise is usually the flagship, but maybe Voyager A is the flagship, or could become a flagship at this time. She could become the flagship.
I think if the Mirror Universe Voyager was
Well, they weren't in the Mirror Universe in the beginning. They were when it's Admiral
no, but
Jellicoe on the in command.
If the Mirror Universe Voyager did get sent to like the Delta Quadrant and came back, kind of similar to what happened in Prime, I'm assuming it would become like a very symbolic and important ship because they would have conquered, you know what I mean, part of the Delta Quadrant on their way back, you know what I mean? So maybe it's like an important and significant ship in that regard. So that's why they would send like Admiral Jellicoe to like.
But that's not the Mirror Universe at that time. That's just another alternate reality. Remember, they were like, they were in a bunch of different. But you're right.
No, well, that's just because like Janeway was like supposed to. Janeway disobeyed.
That's when.
And then so he followed.
Right? He probably came. Oh yeah, he probably came aboard to clean up kind of the mess after they died. That's a good point. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Because like she was under his responsibility, I guess, and he's like, "What the hell is going on? I gotta go clean this up. Take me to the Voyager A."
But you're right also about
I'll put them on 17 shift rotations or whatever it is. You know what I
mean? You're right though about Mirror Voyager. She would be important if she did that, and I thought it was interesting that. I guess we could skip ahead to Mirror Voyager for a second and talk about that ship a little bit. I really want to talk about Tuvix's Voyager, but we'll save that for last. But it was interesting to me that Janeway had the 7 of 9 Borg implant. So I guess we're to think that at some point Janeway gets assimilated and then unassimilated. Could 7 of 9 have been the original captain of that Voyager, and she was she was Captain Hansen, and it was in fact Janeway that got assimilated back in the day and then rescued.
You know what my theory craft, my immediate thought was? In the Mirror Universe, they never saved 7. They murdered her and stole her tech, and Janeway put her brow on her and enhanced herself.
That's probably the most likely scenario.
It's dreadful to think about, but
it is kind of dreadful to think about.
That's the kind of thing we do, you
know. Folks are asking in the chat how to remove the heart, and I don't see the heart on my version of the YouTube chat, because I think if you go up to the 3 dots at the top of the chat,
what are you talking about?
And there's like a heart that gets in the way when you're chatting. I think that you can turn off
I can turn it
The
off.
heart.
I turned off the heart.
But I don't
But
remember
maybe
how
I
to
turned
do
it.
it.
Maybe I turned it off for me. There's a toggle that says reactions, and if you toggle the reactions off, then the heart goes away. People.
There you go. Turn off. Okay. You got that, audience? So if you go to the 3 dots at the top of the chat, you can turn off reactions. You're welcome. For our audio audience, when you hear this in 5 years, because I haven't.
When they've completely remodeled YouTube entirely.
No, but we have an audio podcast, but I haven't updated
Oh,
it
okay, yeah.
in like a long time. I need a database one. I need someone. Anyone want to volunteer their time to help me with all these things? It would be great.
It's very peculiar that like the way they've structured it, they don't have like the reaction heart or whatever emoji that you want to do like next to like the chat box. You know what I mean? Like just put it next to the chat box.
It's weird what it's in a weird place. YouTube's weird. We know that. But yeah, that makes more sense that they would have probably killed Seven and stolen her tech. As we know, Borg tech is very valuable, and they probably figured that out in the Terran the Terran version of Voyager. What else? How would the Terran version of Voyager, like, what would the? I wonder, like, in the
So
mirror
Tuvix
universe.
made captain on screen before Harry Kim. That wasn't on screen, but we have a mention of Tuvix before Harry Kim is promoted now.
We don't know what Harry Kim's rank is in this time period.
Well, it sure as hell isn't captain.
How do you know that? Like, he could totally be a
on.
captain.
No, he would never make captain. Tuvix did though.
I think Harry Kim does. Doesn't he become a captain in one of those alternate timeline future thing episodes? No, right? Am I wrong? Is that
No, I don't think he
my
does.
imagination? What was it? What was I seeing?
But there's an alternate reality out there where Harry Kim goes completely mad with the fact that no one promotes him ever, and so like he makes himself captain. You know what I mean? And
that was the other thing. We're sorry, we're bouncing around everywhere. But the Tuvix captaincy was on an Enterprisian version of the ship. So they were in a universe where the Enterprisians were the predominant. They were Starfleet, like that. Starflight, I should say. So yeah, I'm not so happy about Tuvix being the captain because I never liked Tuvix. I think of Tuvix as like he just as an abomination. Like, I think like just the idea of being merged with, like, if you and I got merged and couldn't separate, but then also had a consciousness of our own, it's just too creepy. All of it's just too much for my brain to. We'd be so Sean. We've already done this, right? We'd be so Sean.
I don't know if we've already done this scenario in particular.
I feel like
but
we've talked about it. So hottie. I like so hottie.
So hottie. Okay.
We'd be so hottie. That's a really good
one. I think our life choices would become quite interesting.
Apparently, yes, an abomination with great food. Our life choices would be what? Very what?
Interesting and unpredictable.
Like now. That's how we are now. I feel like that hasn't changed. Do you think that Tuvix's food is just like the best food ever because it's Neelix?
Okay, I don't think it's the best food ever, but I will say this: it has to be better than Neelix's food.
Right. Because everyone complains about Neelix's food, right?
Any change is an upgrade at that point. You know what I mean? Like if Murph made some food, it would be better than Neelix's food.
I just saw another one. Total. I like So Hottie better, but Total's pretty good too. Jill says I love fusion cuisine. I think I do too, but I can't think of any examples of fusion that I really love right now.
So he's like self-fusioning basically. He has he's fusioned two cultures together. So he is the fusion.
Talaxian Vulcan cuisine. That's what they were talking about. How they were like just having a great old time. I want to see Rock
How do they
and Hero's
reconcile that?
Adventure.
So
I want to see it.
Is Tuvix a vegetarian?
I would imagine so.
Because Tuvok is, right? But Neelix isn't.
Oh, so then maybe it's a tough question. They might be vegetarian but eat like fish or eggs, something like that. I don't know. It's a really good question. These are the kinds of questions that we need to ask the writer of this episode, Aaron McNamara.
That's right. You
Who I
didn't
forgot to
mention the
mention.
writer
Yeah, I
and the
forgot to.
director and everything. Come on, do your job, buddy.
And I think it's let me just double check who directed it.
What the hell?
But while can we go back to the Mirror Universe for a second and talk about what you thought of the whole, like, seeing the Voyager cast in the mirror, and like seeing that whole thing?
I love it. Like, I've seen so much like comic book art and just online art, fan art of like what the Mirror Universe of Voyager would look like. But it was so, I don't know, gratifying. It was so fun, so cool to see it like finally like on screen, canonized as such. I don't know. It was really cool seeing like the vibes that there's like between like Chakotay and Janeway. Like how they get really close, almost as if they're gonna kiss, but like that's just like the kind of like eternal sexual tension that's happening in the Mirror Universe. You know what I mean? Like it's always there. It's always like kind of like there's sexual tension, but also I'm gonna murder you at any point. You know what I mean? So it was really fun seeing that. I liked seeing the agony booths, like the agonizer. He says the mean machine was taken. His Jankum, which is hilarious to me. No, it was good.
Ooh, Indian chili. I'd like to, but there is already a version of chili that's Indian, I feel like. So, like, there's a ground beef chili type of dish. So I'm not sure it counts. It would just have another name. I don't know. But it sounds delicious. The director was Roland Lee. And as I said before, the writer was Aaron McNamara. So we want to know, is there going to be in season 3 an episode where we're just on the Tuvix Voyager? Like a whole,
That could be a fun short Treks episode.
No, I think we need a whole episode of like somehow they end up on the Tuvix Voyager.
It's too much. No, but it was really fun. Like special shout out to like the lighting and the way that they lit like all of these Mirror Universe scenes. They really made an effort to make it seem like very dark and very like Mirror Universe-y. And now, like, ever since Discovery has kind of like established that your boy Lorca, like, with the eyes and everything, sensitive to like the light, it always comes back to me. So every time I see it darker, I'm like, oh, that's really cool.
Because you like that explanation. You like that Trek explanation about it.
I do like that Trek explanation.
Very cool. So
Jill be against Chakotay, I'll tell you that.
Now the whole thing, I thought it was interesting, like the Mirror Universe security guards, I guess, that they had, like, they now had a mask. I don't think we've seen that before, have we? Is that the first time we saw? They look like those kind of like from Tron. And the other thing that was interesting that I thought was like cool.
We've seen that before, I think.
One other interesting thing that I thought was a cool lore update that explains why we never go to the Mirror Universe in TNG or Voyager. We do go there in DS9, but I guess overall, just in the TNG era, the Mirror Universe kind of subsides. They also explained it a little bit in Discovery, but they said in this episode that they had created some fail safes that would prevent people from coming into the Terran or Mirror Universe. So I thought that was really a cool little update.
That's really interesting because remember in Deep Space Nine, there's the Terran Empire that's doing all this bad stuff, but like basically a
It
lot
was
of
the
what's going on with Deep
Alliance.
Space Nine is they're trying to change the ways of like the people. You know what I mean? They're trying to make the Terran Empire, or sorry, the Mirror Universe, a better place to live in. And of course, you know, if you're like one of the top dogs in the Mirror Universe, you don't want that to happen. Like you want it to stay the same, keep control. So it makes sense that they tried to put in place like fail safes and safeguards and what have you. And yeah, we didn't
Yeah.
mention the whale. Like even the whales are evil.
I thought it was funny that Jillian. Oh, actually, I thought it was sad that Jillian had a scar because that means that the whale was in some kind of fight where they had to
Yeah,
get it.
I guess I have a minor gripe with that. That is not specifically directed at Star Trek Prodigy. It's more a general like media thing. We put scars on people to indicate that they're mean, and it's kind of mean to people who have scars in real life. But, I
guess
know
so,
that
but
you could interpret this as like the Mirror Universe is a hostile universe, and so people are more prone to having like battle scars, and they're more prone to being in combat. So that like that kind of like makes sense. It's just that very often like we damage people's faces or what have you, and then we're like, well, look, they're evil because they got the face damaged. And I think it's maybe a little bit of like a trope that we could perhaps move away from.
I don't know.
It's a very minor gripe though, and it's really not specifically like a Prodigy complaint. Of course, it's more industry wide thing.
I think scars are meant to show someone who maybe has just had a rough time, because I don't know if it's always the mean thing, but definitely in the Mirror Universe, everyone has scars. It seems like because they're always getting into fights, so it's
Well, yeah,
probably
there's of course like
yeah.
lore accurate explanations and canonical like reasons why everyone would have scars in the Mirror Universe. To be
Or a
fair
lot of
to the Mirror
people, yeah,
Universe,
yeah,
like most people would be scarred.
yeah.
Like because
But
even
like
if you don't have
Indiana
a physical
Jones,
scar, you'd be scarred on the inside in the Mirror
like
Universe.
Indiana Jones has a scar here on his chin and like scars all over his body. I guess it's like facial scars that maybe could make you look a little ruddy or mean or whatever, you know. But you know, Indiana Jones has scars and everyone like kind of loves it. They
I
don't
don't
think
like
he's
him.
mean.
He's a terrible professor.
He's I mean,
He's also he's also like a thief.
that's true. What Trevor's
He's like
saying
a
in
grave
the
robber.
Trevor's saying there's no reason why dermal regenerators don't exist in the Mirror Universe. That's correct, but I think people like to keep the
Yes,
scars.
I would agree
Yeah, I
with
was
what
gonna
you're
say,
saying. I do
yeah,
feel like it is kind of like a pride to have like kind of
yeah.
like Klingons. Klingons wouldn't regenerate their skin. What are you kidding me? Like they would keep the battle scars, you know.
I would 100% regenerate if I got like the tiniest scar. God, I would like erase
Well,
it.
actually, General Martok is a proud
Has
individual,
yeah.
and he's a good guy. You know what I mean? And he's got like some facial damage going on.
But yeah, what kind of fight do you think Jillian the mirror Jillian Whale could have gotten into to get that scar on her eye? Probably with like a mirror, like an alliance shark or or an alliance dolphin. Like, do you think like what would Jillian have gone on an away mission? Like, was the scar put there by her handlers or her trainers? That would be even worse, actually, and
What was
sad.
the not the Demogorgon, but the Gormaganda? Did she fight a Gormaganda? You know
That could,
that
oh
whale
yeah,
type
but
thing
those are
from like
space
Discovery?
whales. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
well,
that's a
who
space
cares?
whale.
What, a space whale can't go in water? Come on.
Veggie says a shark with fingers and a giant switchblade. Yeah, but you could have an eye scar from a claw. Like, what if it was a clawed
Was it
beastie?
really a claw scar, or maybe someone like phasered the
I
ship?
love that.
Maybe someone
We're saying,
phasered the ship and it went through like the hull and it phased like the whale. You know what I mean?
oh my gosh,
That's
that's
gonna happen. Like some
brutal.
people, like sometimes they lose whales, right? That's gonna happen, right?
Yeah, it's true. That could happen. It's true. Good point. So, okay, another question I had, maybe I missed this. I've only watched this episode
17 times.
a few times, but I only caught this time. When they're running away from the cetacean ops, which they're they're on the same deck as the bridge, I believe. Like Chakotay's like, let's go to the bridge, but it's on the same deck, so don't worry or whatever. So is their version of cetacean ops, both Voyagers, Mirror and Prime, Is Cetacean Ops on the same level as the bridge? That's kind of a cool thing. I always thought it was somewhere in the saucer section.
I would assume that it takes up multiple decks because like you
Yes,
can
I
access
do
it
think it does
from
actually.
multiple decks. You know what I mean? Because it can't be just like one deck flat. Like otherwise the bloody whale's just gonna be kind of stuck. You know, it's a whale. Like this isn't like a dolphin or a beluga. You know, this is a full-on whale. So like, you know, I'm assuming that like multiple decks are involved, and you can access it from like multiple decks.
I have the
But
MSD.
it would make sense. It would make sense that you can access it from like the bridge level. Like if you want to quickly talk to those officers.
I have the MSD in your. I think you're right. Hang on. Let's see what happens. Let's see. How can I share? 1 second. I hope this is the real one. Share screen. Allow for 1 month. Wow, this new operating system thing is pretty intense. Okay, window. Here we go. All right. Do you see this window, Toddy, from Reddit?
You're sharing schematics. I love
so
it.
I think
I'm gonna steal all this information and go back to my universe with it.
This is Cetacean Ops. The Voyager is huge. Oh my gosh. So this is Cetacean Ops right here. And
they even gave them rocks. Look.
I know there's like a little. There's a lot of space for Jillian.
There's like a seabed.
And then this is.
What is that dome? Is that astrometrics?
Hang on. It could be.
Where are you going? He's left.
I'm looking to make sure that's the bridge. Main bridge. So follow that. Yeah. So this is the bridge here. So no, they are not on the same deck, but practically. It's like one. Like you could. Like it depends because the entrance is here, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So there's only one entrance.
6, 7,
really?
8 decks.
So there's only one entrance, really. Well, there's an access from the top, like from a Jeffries tube deck. Clearly, you can come down.
Here,
into
yeah,
it. You can drop into it.
Yep, exactly. Here's the deflector dish. This, I think, is astrometrics right here.
Oh yeah, that might. Okay, what's the other? The other one's the holodeck, maybe.
I think that's a It's gigantic. That's a big ass holodeck.
Wow,
that's an enormous size holodeck, isn't it? Like that feels like it's. If that is a holodeck, it's huge.
That's pretty big. I mean, that's,
and then look,
that's the kind of holodeck you use to displace an entire people from a planet. You know what I mean?
Look, this is the warp core over here in the saucer. Is there another one? Yes.
Ridiculous.
No, I think that's clever. I think that's great. Huh. Oh yeah, they're labeled, but the reason is I have to scroll across.
Yeah. You moron.
follow
the line, buddy. There it is. Right. It goes there. Okay.
Okay, so well, this one's not labeled.
Yes, it is.
Is it? Oh yeah, there's a
go down.
A line.
Go down the black the white line on the black thing, and then go across. Okay. No, you're on the wrong line. It's just the one at the big holodeck there.
Holodeck, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm really digging the Lamar class. Look, there's a shuttle bay up front. This is interesting. I really like the placement of engineering in the main saucer section. We're used to it being in the secondary. And technically, since it doesn't really, it's just one hull, right? Like there's not a secondary and primary hull. There's no real delineation on this ship. I like this ship. I can't wait till
well, it's interesting because technically like Cetacean Ops basically separates the hulls. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is where I might have thought engineering would be on Voyager.
That's clearly like I'm going to assume one of the heaviest parts of the ship because like having that much water, you know, like just hanging around must be like really heavy. So like the center of gravity, so to speak. It doesn't matter in space, I guess. But if this ship can land like the others, it's good having it there.
Oh, Benji says, I think where Cetacean Ops is usually where the computer core, and they usually are that big too. Computer cores on ships are pretty massive. Forward shuttle bay. This ship is Funky Town. The The ship
Yeah,
is designed
how do you hit like another ship at ramming speed if all of your shuttles are on the front?
That's funny. Tune in the Trek Yards for more examination. A more thoughtful, perhaps, examination of the Voyager A,
Yeah, I'm
the
sure they're doing
Lamont.
a more professional job.
I don't know. We're I think we're pretty
In the Mirror
professional.
Universe, they're called scrapyards. They only talk about broken ships.
They only scrap yards.
They only talk about destroyed, defunct vessels.
That's pretty funny.
And when they run out
Scrapyard.
of content, they actually go and blow the ships up themselves. And then they have something to talk about.
They did. Oh goodness, this is endless font of of material. All right, so I feel like we're way off track. What haven't we've talked about Tuvix, the Enterpriseians, we talked about the realities. Okana coming back. Was that on your list of things that you were hoping to see?
No, it wasn't on my list. And okay, so I didn't have as much like emotional vulnerability, like when I saw him as I did the first time. Like when I saw him coming back, it was really really cool. We got him in Lower Decks, we got him in Prodigy. Like I've enjoyed seeing him come back, and I was really like hype about it because he's a character that I appreciated a lot. This time it was kind of like, okay, well, it's him again. You know what I mean? So like it's almost like I'm used to it now. I guess I'm used to, it's good because I like it, but I'm used to it.
Jill says they did Okana dirty and didn't fix him. But I don't think it would matter because the Prime Universe Okana is still a dweeb. It's just that's just like another universe Okana where the Federation is destroyed by the construct, which is kind of an interesting idea as well. They were not able to stop the weapon in that universe. So that's all we really see. You really want to see those Enterpriseians. You can't tease us with the Enterpriseians and then not give us more.
Yeah,
What
it's
about
more about them than it is about Tuvix for you, isn't it? It's about the Enterpriseians.
No, but it would be, I think them and Tuvix would be an interesting combination. Like it makes sense to me that's the universe.
So are there Mirror Universe?
That's the universe where Tuvix was
It has to be.
not undone. What was that? What was the question?
Mirror Universe Enterpriseians. Do you think that's a thing?
Yeah, absolutely. But I do think that they're sweet in the Mirror Universe too and got killed.
You think they're really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they got destroyed. This is a good question. Why did Prodigy trash Okana? Why did Picard kill Hugh? Stop bringing in legacy characters and destroying them. I don't know. I mean, Hugh is a tough one for me because I'm very personally attached to that one. But I didn't think of the characters being destroyed necessarily. Maybe I did at the time. Maybe I did when it happened.
So I have varying feelings on this because, for example, Icheb, I really didn't like the way they handled Icheb in Picard. Like that hurt me because I feel like we had it was a whole journey that we did with this character that we went through. There's like a whole thing about like him going home and it doesn't work out because this and that. And so I feel like I know that they were trying to like really pull at like Seven's heartstrings, but I feel like doing that to Icheb wasn't the good way to go. I do think Hugh though was very different because having seen the interviews with the actor, like guy seemed really really happy to be able to come back and kind of like complete and continue like the story. And I do think it had like a great like kind of overall impact on like who the XBs were, like the X-Borgs were in Picard, and like he was like the original X-Borg, so to speak, you know what I mean, like that we've seen on the show. So I feel like it kind of brought his story full circle. So I wasn't mad about Hugh. Would I have liked to see more of him and see more of like the actor? Of course. But like, am I mad about the fact that they kind of like killed him, or do I feel like they did him dirty? Not so much. Icheb, yes. O'Connor's kind of got like a goofiness to like the character in the first place, so it doesn't really bother me if they do goofy things with him, and if he's like kind of like cameo bait, you know what I mean? Like he's always just kind of like a cameo that they have now and then. I like it.
They need to make Seven more redeemable when she murdered Bejazel. Yeah, I guess that's true.
They could have also made her not murder Bejazel.
Is she murdering or is she murdering or is she avenging?
I mean, what's the difference?
There's a big difference.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think she should have. I think she should have arrested Bejazel, but at the same time, Bejazel was like clearly not going to change, and the system's so rigged that there's no way Seven could have like brought Bejazel to justice. I feel like Bejazel's the kind of character that like would have found a way to get out and then made it worse. And like
it's interesting we say this.
And I think Bejazel would have sought revenge on Seven, but I do think that Seven is avenging. She initially, I think, is trying to bring justice. You know, like, which avenging doesn't mean killing. It just means to avenge the death, like to make a wrong deed correct. Sometimes people are killed in avenging missions, but I think like the Avengers don't try to, I don't think they try to, I don't know. I have to look it up. I guess, but Mrs. Powell family's in the chat and says,
I'll say this. It's very interesting that you're out here justifying that, like, this, I'm going to say, minor crime lord Bejazel can never redeem herself.
Minor crime lord Bejazel,
literally the emperor of the Terran Empire, all right, got a whole redemption arc and was forgiven by every single fan. Like, okay, she's committed like atrocities a million times worse than anything you could even think of in our life, and we're like, be fine, yo. You know
I would say that fine. I would say that I don't think that it's fine. I don't think that that's what Star Trek's saying about Emperor Jojo. I think that's just like when I rewatch Discovery.
I think that you should not think about the redemption of Emperor Jojo in the same kind of like sentence as you think, or the same thought as you think about like the avenging, like, you know, that Seven does with Bejazel, because there's a massive double standard happening. You know what I mean? Which is weird. So I think that Seven was wrong in her doing so. Is it completely out of character? Maybe not, because Seven was always kind of nuts. She's clearly been scarred from like, you know, a situation, and she's always wanting to like take the most drastic of solutions, even in Voyager. But did I particularly like that she was like murderous? No, not really. Did I particularly like that everyone was murderous in Picard? Not really. But yeah.
It's a complicated issue. I think
she was a ranger. She was a ranger.
I think we should do like a court TV version of our show one day, where we have people presenting cases.
We should have the legal eagle come on.
Yeah, we should have the legal eagle come on and decide these things, but they have to know Federation law. So, you know, it all depends.
I'm pretty sure legal eagle is the most versed in Federation law of all the eagles out
there. Benji says Free Cloud is outside the Federation's jurisdiction, so she needed Ranger justice. Toddy, how are you still wearing that wig? Commodore says if you think every single fan has forgiven her, I envy your Twitter feed.
I'm not very much on the Twitters at the moment, mostly because I want to avoid spoilers for like Prodigy. But I'm not very much on the Twitters.
Look, here's another example. Jill says, I never forgave Jojo. I can't understand why anyone likes that character.
Oh, there we go. Jill and I are on the same kind of camp.
Wow, this is a deep we struck a chord. It's deep. We struck a chord here with this one. But going back to, I guess,
I would like to say that in my Star Trek media, the concept of avenging by murder is not necessarily something that I would like seen executed or done by characters that I appreciate, by our heroes. Like, if we can write our way around that, I would enjoy that. That's what I'll say.
I agree with that. I think that's nicer. I think that's also more like the message you want to give.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
You don't want to kick people off,
But since it happened, I'm just
It
saying
happened.
it just
It happened. What are you gonna do, eh? It's already done. It's set in
different
stone.
things. It's like doesn't like technically
Well,
doesn't...
it's set in stone until the streaming service decides to discontinue the show and remove it from the platform entirely. Then it doesn't exist anymore. You know what I mean? Because that's a new trend.
I think we got on this train because of Okana being destroyed as a character. I think, yes, maybe those other characters were destroyed, perhaps, or like
this was an alternate reality Okana.
But it was an alternate reality Okana. But even Prime Okana, remember last season in Star Trek Prodigy, he like ran away when the situation got like a little tough. And I do think that that's interesting because I didn't expect that from Okana either. I thought by now he'd become more virtuous, like he wasn't just like a scoundrel, if you will. But I do think that maybe Okana is going through something that we're not aware of yet, and maybe in a future season of Prodigy we'll get that context that we need to see why Okana is acting the way that he does. And maybe we'll get that'll lead to DJ Okana eventually, and then everything will be okay because that's how Toddy wants Okana to be, just a DJ. So
just a DJ.
So maybe DJ Okana.
That's his passion.
That's a good DJ name, by the way. DJ Okana. I have the best DJ name though. My DJ name is DJ Tanner.
DJ Tanner.
Yeah, it's the
Yo, that sounds so white.
The girl from Home Alone, DJ Tanner.
Oh, okay.
DJ's her name and her last name's Tanner, so I just figure that's a good DJ name, right? DJ Tanner. All right, so that was a good.
You're more like you're DJ Daddy, aren't you?
DJ Daddy. Oh, thank you. Say that again. No, I'm just kidding. DJ Daddy.
But no, I don't want to. See.
Let's see. Well, we're at about an hour. I think we talked about everything. Audience, is there something we didn't?
I think we talked about nothing.
What are you talking about? We talked about a lot. We talked about a lot in this episode. I guess it's time, Toddy, to give our closing thoughts and our ratings for this episode. I'm going to give this episode a 9.9995.
What? That's nuts. That's high. Okay, I'll give it a I'll give it an 8.
All right.
About that. That's 8. That's high. It's high. I'm really liking this season.
It
is the best Star Trek show to have been released in years. I just love it.
It's such a good show. I hope folks are watching it. We're waiting for Netflix to give us some good news. By the way, I have a little another sidebar since we're not talking about the episode. Anyways, I'm so mad that the new Agatha show is premiering at 9 p.m. on Disney Plus here on the East Coast, and it's 6 p.m.
You heard it here first, people. Someone actually cares about the show. This is the first individual in the world to actually care about the Agatha show.
I think
He's live.
I think this will chime in, audience. There's more people, I'm sure of it. I bet Benji's
not a single
excited. I bet
person that
Benji
cares
and
about the
Trev.
show.
I bet Benji and Trev might be excited about it. But anyways, I'm just guessing here.
It's
Let
the
me know if
theme
I'm
song.
right.
It's
It was
the
Agatha
theme.
all along. But see, look, Benji says I care about it.
Oh my
god!
Oh my goodness! It's
So
amazing.
yeah, I'm upset because I go to bed at 8 p.m. or 8:30 at the latest. I try to go early, so this is like, why can't you just release it at like 7 p.m. and call it a day?
Rated 8 fake Chakotay. That's right, 8 fake Chakotay beards out of 10 is what I give it. Out of 10 real ones.
Toddy is clearly ultra straight. He is ultra straight, actually. I've spent a lot of time with Toddy, but Mirror Toddy might not be.
Is this what is it? Is this is that just a comment? Is it a reproach?
I think it's a comment about that the gays are all looking forward to Agatha.
The gays are looking for Agatha.
It's possible that the gays.
We have to find something better for the gays.
I should say the queers. because maybe
quiz.
the
We need to find
buys might
something
be
better for the
doing it
quiz. So, like, if the only thing that the quiz is looking forward to is Agatha, I mean, it's rough. I'm sorry, guys. Really.
Jill. Okay. Anyways, that was my Agatha thing. Let's wrap it up, Toddy. Next week we're going to be talking about Ascension parts 1 and 2. We're going to do both of them, so don't forget to watch both episodes, everyone.
Thank you for not spoiling. You're very kind.
Yeah, audience, remember Toddy is watching them and has not seen he has not seen the whole season, so he's going episode by episode, so don't spoil Ascension for him. That's why he's been avoiding Twitter and seems so out of touch.
Beetlejuice 2 was great.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet, so I'll go check
really
that
liked
it. Toddy can't appreciate a sassy witch. I love that. Toddy, audience, whatever our reality throws at us, I'm glad I'm in this reality with you. So thank you for thank you for joining us.
I'm glad to be in this reality with you too.
Thank you. I hope everyone lives long and prospers.
I won't be Aragorn next time.
No. But you have to be Aragorn when we do our second reference conversations at some point.
Yeah, I can do it.
Thank you guys. Have a wonderful evening, and